Welcome back, Hex to Hex here. Let's catch up on August Fury. We've played through the 1500 game turn, and quick look at the map. You can see that Longstreet's attack has created shock in the Union troops. So Pope realized a couple turns ago that once this attack here started with Longstreet, that this attack by Porter and McDowell was fruitless because they were going to get smacked, and they did get smacked. So he issued orders. It was a one turn to get there by courier, and both of these generals, Porter and McDowell, had, I think it was a D1. They received their orders. But it was pretty good, actually. So they were able to execute their orders on the 1530 game turn, or the 1500 game turn. So, I'm sorry. That was the 15. We're going to start the 1600 game turn. All right, so we just finished 1530 game turn. So they were able to start to pull out, and they took a bit of a pounding trying to pull out. But it's kind of like about this game. You do have some rules about your movement and stuff. But the game is pretty bloody as far as when you look at the marking off boxes for casualty stuff, but it's in strengths of 50. So the numbers, when you get 2, you played Terrible Swift Sword, 2 was a big hit on a unit. But in this game here, it's only 100 men, so it's half of what that was. So they were in this pocket here, and they were able to pull out because the Confederates hadn't quite closed it. And of course, Jackson's guys aren't under any orders to attack. They're under orders to defend the railroad cut. That could potentially change here shortly because Longstreet's attack is so successful. So Reynolds' reserve brigade is, well, you can see that stack's DG'd. They were routed. The entire reserve division, let's see, the Pennsylvania Reserves, yeah, so the entire Pennsylvania Reserve Division is completely wrecked. So now when they suffer morale, they got one guy back here who just recovered, one straggler. He's got 50 men, period. And then the other 2 units right here, they were routed. They're already under a new leader. So Reynolds he didn't even get to Gettysburg in this game. He was already shot here. So they are, let's see. Actually, I'm sorry. That's Meade, Seymour, and Jackson. Yeah, those are the brigades. Reynolds was the commander, and he's already been wounded and taken out. Actually, I think he was killed. So they're shot. Fortunately, they recovered from their rally. Both units rolled a 1, and they had a leader in there with a command strength of 1. So not that they might have been better off routing because they're going to get swamped because it's the Confederate turn now. Longstreet is hit. Some of his units were hit pretty good, but not enough to slow down them. You can see these units here facing into this pocket. So now they got to turn. Their attack is through Groveton. So now I got to get change orders to them to drive down the turnpike here and keep the pressure on. The 2 Union corps, Porter's orders are to move back and form a defensive line between this ridge here and Chin Ridge. And then McDowell is supposed to be on the left flank over by Chin Ridge in a defensive posture. There's no way that they're going to attack because 4 of the Union Corps have already been hit. 3 have been hit pretty good. This one over here suffered a corps stoppage, the 3rd Corps of the Army of the Potomac. Reno's the only one untouched, but I can't throw him into the fight because he's going to have to steady the center of the line here along Matthews Hill. All right, so the Union is in retreat. Orders have been reissued to Heintzelman, and he's on a delay to get after this Jackson's left flank again up here in the unfinished railroad cut. We'll see how that happens. I don't know. Maybe they can get enough force, and if it's good enough, then maybe we can get Reno involved. But I don't think that the corps over here are going to be able to stop Longstreet, because Longstreet, if he gets his orders, and I could just use him because he's a 4, I could do initiative with him. he can just plow through all this stuff, more than likely. Union does have some decent amount of cannons, but you got to get them into a place where they can be useful. Stewart's still out here screening. He really has no purpose right now. His one cav unit he's got is not going to be strong enough to deal with those three if they ever do something ever gets activated with them. So that's where we stand. Let's take a look at the casualty sheets. And we'll take a look at the Union one here. Oh, I always go the wrong way with this thing. All right, you can see there's the Pennsylvania reserves. I didn't tally the numbers for you all this time. Sorry about that. But you can see that the 3V, Pennsylvania Reserve Division of the 3rd Army, from the Army, 3rd Corps of the Army of Virginia, their division's completely wrecked. This division here is wrecked. That is the 1st Division of the 3rd Corps of the Army of Potomac. They're wrecked. They still have one brigade that is not wrecked yet, but he's about to be. He gets 2 more losses of any kind, and he's wrecked. You've got the 1st Division of the 5th Corps of the Army of Potomac. They're wrecked. The division's wrecked. And the 2nd Division of the 5th Corps of the Army of Potomac is wrecked. And all those little timestamps there are when the brigades went ineffective. Now, granted, these ones with stragglers, they can recover if I can get them back far enough to do some recovery. All right. There's Reno's Corps. They're not touched yet. All right. So the Union they're suffering pretty good, although 3rd Corps of the Army of Virginia still has a whole bunch of brigades that it's got 4 brigades haven't even been touched, and 1 brigade that's just barely been touched. 2 brigades have barely been touched. For the Confederates, a little different. They have, let's see, as far as wrecked, they have 1 brigade that's wrecked, and that is G. I don't know if that's Gordon. I don't know. Greg. So Greg's brigade is wrecked. But they probably got, let's see, Tolliver or Thomas, he gets 1 more and he's going to be wrecked. And Tolliver, who has been wounded or killed, 1 more and he's going to be wrecked. And that is, the Stonewall Brigade hasn't been touched yet. So the Confederates are in great shape and they're on the attack. And they're really not giving the Union soldiers or the Union armies any break at all. So that's the end of the 1530 turn. There's your ammo counts. Confederate started with 150. They down to 108. Union has fired 12 rounds, 8 or 22 rounds. Every time you fire one of these batteries, 5 guns is you burn off an ammo point, and if you have a battery that fires that's not 5, it's still regardless, it burns off an ammo point. So Jackson's done his job with some rough casualties up here on this end, but for the most part, they're fine. And now Longstreet's pressure is being applied, and I don't think the Union will be able to respond to that. So we're going to push this along here. We're going to play 3 more turns, I think, of this. If it looks like the Union can do anything with it, we will. But we're going to see over the next turn or two what happens here with Longstreet's attack. All right, so that's August Fury from Multiman. Just finished the 1530 turn. We're getting ready to start the 1600 turn. And the fight has really started to develop over here along the turnpike. Maybe I can get orders to Jackson to swing his guys out and get part of the attack. We'll see. I'll have to evaluate that. All right, let's get this posted so y'all can see what's going on. All right, we'll talk to you soon.